welcome to episode 8 of Just Dykin Around. Today is actual Valentine's Day. We're recording this on Valentine's Day. So that's why I'm wearing my little Valentine's gift.
Even though it's kind of Halloween-y.
But, you know.
We're going to keep that in because abuse. Physical abuse, man.
Your Valentine's gift is
wow.
the elbow to the face.
I'm so lucky.
So the sweater you got me says silly goose and then honkus ponkus. And that's because I am a silly goose. But also, honkus ponkus is an inside joke between us.
Yeah. Basically honk anything.
We're both fans of Crying Baby. Okay. Come on. God. Come on, Crying Baby. We were watching with Cindy on YouTube. She was reviewing a Colleen Hoover book where the female protagonist has like burn scars on like half her body. Mm-hmm. And the male love interest, he spends the entire meeting just wondering what she looks like naked and like fetishizing her scars. Yeah. And then they get together and then at one point he says, "I love you more than both your boobs." And that's like, that's supposed to be taken seriously. Like she's swooning over that.
And I'm sure a lot of straight women are also swooning over that.
Cindy recaps that essentially by saying, "I love you more than both titty." So then I immediately turn to you and I say, "Do you love me more than both titty?"
How did the honk thing, like, where did the goose thing come up? Is that just because you're a silly goose and it's our thing?
No. Okay, so we were making out.
No, we don't make out. My mother watches this channel. We don't do anything.
We don't know that she watches. We just know she's subscribed. We don't know that she actually watches the videos.
We don't do anything. We crochet. We braid each other's hair. We
just cuddle.
Yeah, that's it. I think I just went honk on your boobs because I'm stupid. Because I'm an idiot.
That's right. We were making out, and you just grabbed my boobs and went honk.
Because I'm an adult.
And then I immediately go, "Do you love me more than both Hong Kongs?" Then immediately Hong Kong became our word for adult fantasy. You saw a meme that was a little goose, basically this, a little witch outfit, cape, witch hat thing, just said honkus ponkus, and you sent it to me. So now honkus ponkus is our word for getting down.
Oh my god. Again, we don't do anything when we get down. What it means is we just like lie down.
Yeah. So. On a kind of related note, there's a show we've been enjoying. It's called Dating Unlocked. Mm-hmm. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Vimeo. It's on like a bunch of the other like streaming services. The first episode of season 2 just released. So it's a queer reality dating show. Very sex positive, kink positive. It's very inclusive. Like there are people of all genders, male, female, non-binary, trans people. Yeah.
A lot of people of color. It's just like, it's very diverse, which is very refreshing. I don't know if it's because it's Canadian. Like, yeah. Thank you, Canada.
Hit like to vote for Canada.
That's very inclusive. It's very like, it's refreshing to see because, most even shows like The Ultimatum and Coming Out for Love. I mean, there's diversity in those, but like even in those you don't see a lot of trans people. Yeah, and you don't see a lot of other things. And like the thing that we liked about this show is like it wasn't just about how people looked in bikinis or whatever. It was more about how people connected as humans because they're asking each other questions. They're connecting on deep levels and some other levels as well.
Yes. Chemistry on all levels, because there's not just physical chemistry. There's romantic chemistry, emotional chemistry. I really liked the episode that ended in a throuple. Yeah. They all had a fantastic chemistry.
Spoiler alert.
Well, we're not going to say which episode.
Okay.
Yeah. But one of the episodes in season 1 ends in a throuple. And as we were watching, we were like, because it's fun to like watch and then like guess who like the main contestant is gonna choose out of like the 3 other contestants. As we were watching, we were like, oh, they all have such good chemistry. We were like, who are they gonna choose? When they decided to be a throuple, we were like, yay! Because they just hit it off really well. We're so cute together. And I also really loved how consent was so central to the show. I've never seen consent so front and center on any other show. Dating show about relationships. It was so natural.
It wasn't like ask for consent. It was just like, it's very, like you said, it was natural. It's like, just like a thing that they expected.
Yeah.
And, like, you know.
And one of the things I really appreciated is that at the end, there's like the primary contestant, and then they choose one of the 3 like secondary contestants. Whoever it is that they choose, that secondary contestant, they don't have to choose the primary contestant back. So like if they are not feeling it, they don't have to fake it or pretend that they are really into the primary contestant just because that person is like the primary person.
Yeah.
Like that's just an example of how consent is like so integral to the show overall. It was really cute, really fun. Also, as an elder vanilla lesbian, I was really proud that I knew pretty much every term. They had a lot of contestants who were into like various kinks, and so they would have little like definitions. A kink would be referenced.
Yeah, kind of like the old school VH1 show pop-up video where they had little blurbs and like little facts and things like that.
I was really proud that I knew all of them already. I think I told you I was a sex educator in college, right?
What?
Yeah, despite having grown up really religious. I'm also a naturally curious person. This program that my college had, basically you would go into like the like English 101 or like Psych 101, like these like basic courses that had like a ton of freshmen, and you would host workshops on like health. But it's college. So most of the workshops you're holding are sexual health, how to drink, like consume alcohol safely, that kind of stuff. And every year we had, it's almost like a little mini fair, and like it was all about like safe sex. Despite being in college, like a lot of young adults, like they just don't know. Yeah, they really don't know.
Well, that's because that's the American
education system. Yes. Purity culture has just so heavily infiltrated our culture. So I had to learn a lot of that. Plus, and this is at the same college, before I even became a sex educator, I ended up falling into this group of friends where one of the women, she was like very into BDSM. Like she would like come in and like show off her bruises, kind of. Okay. Very into it. Mm-hmm. And again, I was fresh off of like growing up super religious. So I would just ask her questions because I was curious, because she was very open about it. Most of what I know about like kink came from our conversations. And then most of what I know about like sexual health in general is from when I had to teach it.
My knowledge came from fan fiction. Some of those writers, like they do their research. So they understand like the whole dynamic between like dominant, submissive, and like some of them are even in that, you know, in that lifestyle, and so they kind of understand how it works, and they understand like, you know, how important consent is and aftercare and all this other stuff. I've never really been like super interested in it myself, but I have, you know, I do read stories about it, or I have read stories about it in the past, and it's like, it's interesting. It's interesting to see, like, you know, how different people express
and enjoy intimacy.
Exactly.
The way that kink and consent and everything was discussed in Dating Unlocked, it was extremely accessible. You could have gone into the show knowing nothing and you would have learned a lot. If you're into reality dating shows, if you're into queer content, we recommend it. It's a really cute show.
It's really good. Yeah. It's really entertaining.
It is also wholesome. Like it has a lot of heart. It's really sweet.
Yeah. We found ourselves going like, with some of the contestants, because it's just like some of them are just so wholesome, so sweet. Yeah. And it's like you want them to win.
Yeah, exactly.
You're rooting for them.
Yeah. You kind of end up rooting for everybody. Like, you're like, I want all of you to end up happy. It's a really sweet show. Really fun. Yeah. On a also related note, I just finished reading the book. It's like a short little novella called Bespoke by L.M. Bennett. Again, very wholesome. There's spice, for sure. But it's also really sweet. So there's this tailor, Cal, who specializes in like making beautiful suits. And then Rocky comes in because Rocky needs a suit for a wedding. And so it's Butch for Butch, which I didn't know like existed. When it comes to sapphic romance, a lot of it tends to kind of fall into tropes, which there's nothing wrong with tropes. Like tropes are tropes for a reason. People enjoy it. But a lot of the sapphic fiction out there can kind of feel like femme main character is a live, laugh, love girl boss who's not looking for love. Can the obnoxiously overconfident Butch character neg her into changing everything? Listen, if you enjoy it, enjoy it. Have fun. It doesn't do anything for me personally. And so when I came across this particular little novella, I read the reviews. It got really good reviews. And so I started reading it. It's so sweet and it's written so like beautifully. The author really like paints the picture of each scene without being too flowery. Yeah. If like scenes get like too descriptive, my eyes glaze over. Like I can't
Your ADHD
stay focused.
Takes over.
The author really has a way with words. She knows how to use words in a way where like you're seeing it and you're there and you're experiencing it and you see the story unfold.
I've gotten through the first few chapters, and like usually I don't like first person, but like the way that this book is written, it's not too introspective, and I think that's why I don't like the first persons, because it's usually everybody's thoughts, like inner thoughts, inner monologue, and it's like it takes over. But the way that this book is written, it doesn't do that. It's like it's some inner thoughts and like, you know, gay panic and stuff like that, which is really cute.
It is really cute. There were so many times I was reading it and I was like, oh my god, they're so cute.
The way that this book is written, it doesn't take over, and it doesn't distract, and that's why I think I like it, because it's not distracting. It's not like, oh, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm thinking. This is what. It's a good mixture. It's a good balance.
The pacing is really good. You know what you mean? A lot of times first character writing, it like goes too much into almost like an emotional rabbit hole or something. Like 5 pages in, you're like, okay, so what's happened though?
Yeah.
Versus this has really nice pacing. Start here. Okay. If you know me in real life, no, you don't. Skip ahead.
Spicy?
It's not that spicy, but it is swoony. Yeah. Oh, okay. But just as an excerpt to just like give you a sense of like how beautiful the writing is. So Rocky has entered the tailor shop and Cal is like starting to swoon a little bit. This is from Cal's perspective. She was wearing some citrus-smelling cologne, crisp and masculine. If I were a cartoon, I would have floated. The way she studied the jacket, eyes drinking in the details, I couldn't help but to drink her in.
You're so gay.
I'm so gay.
You're so gay.
This is where Cal is taking Rocky's measurements because she has to, because, you know, to make the suit. I worked on autopilot until the alluring scent of Rocky's cologne hit me again when I stepped close to wrap measuring tape around her bust, but not too close. Trying to hide the inner turmoil, I cleared my throat and spoke with forced calm. This time, I made myself look her in the eyes. I apologize for invading your personal space. It's just necessary to get an accurate measurement. Rocky's eyes sparkled with understanding, and her voice bounced with mischief. You can come closer if you need to, if it'll help. That's a little sprinkle of a quote. I recommend it. It's very cute. What were we talking about?
We're gonna go to Reddit.
Oh, that's right.
This is from r/True Off My Chest from GingerPeach_02, and the title is My Boyfriend Made Me Cry. Last night, my 21 female boyfriend, 25 male, went out to a brewery with some of his friends. I was super tired and drained from work, so when he invited me, I insisted he'd go alone and have fun with his friend group while I'd just catch up on some sleep. He was gone for about 5 or so hours, but when he came home, he brought some leftover barbecue chicken pizza since I was complaining that I was starving. He had about 5 beers, so he was understandably a little drunk. A few minutes after he settled in, we're in bed watching YouTube videos and feeding him some pizza as well since he decided to have another drink. I decided to have a drink too. I paused the video at one point because I'm rambling about something random and I noticed that the way he's staring at me. After my rant, I ask him, what's up? And he tells me he just likes looking at me. He starts covering his eyes and the next thing I know, he's suddenly crying in front of me for the first time. He's on the verge of bawling his eyes out while repeating to me that I make him so happy. Naturally, I start crying almost immediately. I didn't think I would, but it's safe to say I was tipsy at this point, lol. We're both sitting in his bed, crying our eyes out, and I'm comforting him and calming him down. We said I love you for the first time recently, but I wasn't sure if he meant it, even though he was so eager to say it. Now I know that he means it because of that moment we had last night. It could have been the beer talking, but one of his love languages is words of affirmation. He's the type of boyfriend who doesn't hesitate to tell me how beautiful and amazing I am. He's the man that I've been longing for. It's safe to say that he also admitted that he almost cried the night he asked me to be his girlfriend. Around this time last year, I was heartbroken over a guy who didn't even occupy my mind at all anymore. Now I'm lying in bed watching the love of my life sleep after a really long night.
That's so wholesome.
That's so cute. Remember when you got high and you cried because of how pretty I was?
Yeah. In my defense, you are really pretty.
Oh, well, thank you.
Getting high is a strong term. I took one gummy.
Well, I mean, you were like...
I took one sleep gummy.
It's not even
no,
THC. It's CBD.
One
gummy.
CBD gummy.
Not even THC.
And I was leaving you a voice message, and I just started to cry because you're so pretty.
There was another time recently that you cried. I think you were talking about how sweet I am or something.
Yeah.
How supportive I am of you.
Yeah.
This is a really sweet story.
We need more of this in the world. We need more of this energy.
Yeah. You know, if guys crying and then their girlfriend's not making fun of them and just being like, this is the sweetest thing I've ever seen. And not making fun of him, not ostracizing him on the internet for doing something cute, right?
Exactly. Just
unlocking an egg or whatever. Like
right?
That last
right?
Story.
I think about that story and I'm like, I hope he's found what are those people who like study birds or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope he's found one of those.
Ornithology?
Yeah. And I hope they get to look at all the birds together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in a little bird club. They have bird watching clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Let boys be cute and sweet and like
let boys watch birds and just
and cry happy tears because their girlfriends are so pretty.
Boys have feelings too.
Yeah. We got a couple The Straights Are Not Okay coming up. If everyone involved is not laughing at the end of the prank, it's not a prank, it's abuse. Mm-hmm. Everyone needs to be laughing at the end of the prank.
I've never liked shows like Punk'd, even though like some of them are in on it, but like, you know, for TV or whatever, but like shows like that. And there's another one that was on TV recently where I don't know if it's like revenge pranking or whatever, but I don't like those because they make me feel uncomfortable.
Me too.
Was that one TikTok where the guy's laughing and because he was giving his wife French fries, but she's a vegetarian, but they were cooked in duck fat or something like that. And so, like, that's a prank to him because, haha, funny. Oh, they're so delicious. She's saying they're so good, but haha, they're cooked in duck fat. What's wrong with you?
Pranks. This is from Best of Redditor Updates, and the title of the story is, Am I the Asshole for Screaming at My Husband to Get Out After He Pranked Me with Flowers? The trigger warnings are emotional manipulation, controlling behavior, sexism, and emotional neglect. So the original post was from January 27th of this year. My husband and my marriage is not going well. I'm very close to divorce, and I've talked to him about it. I told him I wanted some effort. I wanted flowers, chocolate, a nicely written note, something that showed he wanted to romance me. He finally took it seriously and agreed. That word, the fact that it, like, you're asking for the bare minimum. When I came home from a 12-hour shift yesterday, he had laid a trail of rose petals in our house. It was so beautiful. The trail ended at the kitchen sink, where he had piled a bunch of dirty dishes, pots, and pans to clean. God. He said he got the idea from TikTok.
Of course.
That's not an excuse. That's something that's used as like, oh, I saw it on TikTok, or I saw it on whatever.
Funny.
Yeah, it's like, that's not...
Someone else did it, so I can do it.
Exactly. That someone else doing something messed up does not give you permission to do the messed up thing. And if you think it does, you need to go to therapy and also not be in a relationship. Mm-hmm. I screamed at him to get out of my house. He left after arguing a bit. I cried. Some of my friends said I was right, but others said he was just being playful? That is not being playful. Are they just
male?
Exactly. You're definitely jerks. Yeah, playful would be, even this would be like borderline, but if he did that and then like saw your reaction and then was like,
just kidding, I got you an actual gift.
Got you like a whole array, like every gift you wanted, and then he like did the dishes, you know, so it was just, even that is like, why would you, like, after, especially with their history, they don't have like a strong base, you know, like she's been asking for this and asking him for this, him for this, and he agreed. He should just do it genuinely. He shouldn't, you know, mask it in this weird prank format. But if he did it that way, it would be less unacceptable. That's not playful. Playful is like making like a dad joke or something. Yeah. That's messed up. There's a comment from Convival Cat that says not the asshole. I mean, basically the whole post was voted, you know, you're not the asshole for kicking him out, which makes sense. This commenter says, I'm old and a widow. I had a very long and loving relationship with my husband. He had a fantastic sense of humor and often did very silly things to get a laugh out of me. Exactly. To get a laugh out of you. That's playful. That's
you want
prank.
Your partner to laugh
with
prank. You. Yeah. As opposed to being like, oh, haha, I'm so funny.
Yeah. Exactly. Because that's just bullying. That's just being mean.
Yeah. It's being selfish and narcissistic.
Yeah. Our marriage was solid because he would never have let me come home from a 12-hour shift to rose petals leading to a sink of dirty dishes. He would have had rose petals leading to a sparkling kitchen, dinner ready, and with him dressed in a French maid outfit. Probably with his ass hanging out.
That's cute.
She continues, God, I miss that man. Anyway, what your husband did, especially knowing how much you were really needing some romance, was incredibly cruel and tone deaf. I don't think this one is a keeper.
No.
I completely agree. Oh, there's an update. On January 28th. My husband came back home last night. I had cooled off, and then he ruined it by saying I was overreacting, and that it was funny, and that he wanted to make me laugh. Sir, that's bullshit. And you should know that. You're not 5 years old. I told him I was going to file for divorce because it was the last straw. He then started crying and begging me not to. He begged me to give him a second chance. I said he already got a second chance, and he squandered it by reminding me that I do all the daily chores in this house. This was why our marriage was rocky. I work in the medical field. I had a feeling when she said 12-hour shift, I had that feeling. I work in the medical field while he is a blue-collar worker. Both of our jobs require long hours, but if I mess up, people die. He once said that I went through all that schooling just to get covered in blood and shit. He took it back after, but he wanted to make me feel low. He started doing that a bit after COVID started.
Wow.
Jail. I don't support the prison industrial complex. But this man should be in jail.
Yeah.
I do the cooking and cleaning. I do the laundry, the sweeping, the dentist appointments. All he does is create more work for me. So many straight women are in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And listen,
And like
some queer people too. There are some messed up queer relationships as well. But I feel like this is really...
Yeah. Imagine if they had children too. So she's having to come home after a 12-hour shift, take care of the kids, like clean up after them, feed them, whatever, because he's probably not going to do it.
No, absolutely not. Get out now before kids are brought in. Mm-hmm. He wanted me to pack him lunch because his friends' wives do. His friends' wives are either stay-at-home moms or they have part-time jobs. That's such an inappropriate thing to be like, oh, this other person's wife does da-da-da-da, so you as my wife should do XYZ. I do not have the time or energy to do that. Understandable. He said he mows the lawn. Well, guess what? It's winter, and I had to shovel the driveway because I had work in the morning and he had the day off. I make more money. I bought our house at a low rate during COVID because his credit was too low. What a shocker. The man who has no idea how to function as an adult in relationships also has no idea how to function as an adult financially.
Wow.
I had to save the money for a down payment. I pay our mortgage. What did he contribute to my life? If I didn't have him in my life, I would have clean floors all the time and more money.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least he could contribute love. He said he loved me, but he doesn't do anything to prove it. Yeah. Love is an action. Love is not, it's not just something you say. Love is something you show. And different people show it in different ways, but there has to be something. He said he loved me, but he doesn't do anything to prove it. So I asked him for flowers or chocolate or a nice card, literally anything.
And like these are such easy things to get.
He could have gone, and I'm not saying that he should have, like obviously she deserves way more, but just if he wanted to like just fulfill her request in the most basic of ways, he could have literally gone to like a drugstore and purchase a little assortment of chocolates for like, I don't know, $10 or something. It's a box of chocolates, Michael. What could it cost? $10?
The bare minimum. Like even, a bouquet of flowers that could be, anywhere from $5 to $10. Yeah. Box of chocolates. Maybe a stuffed animal if she likes that kind of thing. Yeah. A card, which is like $4.
Exactly.
Come on, man. Like these are such easy things that she's asking for.
Like, just take 5 minutes of your day.
That she said she had to shovel the snow.
That's right.
He had the day off.
That's right. But instead, he dropped flower petals to a sink full of dirty...
So he had flowers. He bought flowers.
Oh, yeah. He bought flowers and took the time
to take the petals off.
Yeah.
He went to go buy the flowers. He could have bought a card. And just been like, just kidding, this is what I actually got you.
Exactly. I couldn't tell whether those dishes were like organically dirty or whether he dirtied them
specifically for
the prank.
Yeah.
Either way is disgusting, but like he literally put more work by like getting the roses and like removing the petals. He literally put in more work to prove himself as an ass. you could have just kept the petals on the flowers, given them to her. And then she continues, it's not even original. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not even his joke.
It's not even his joke. It's, like, so pathetic in every way. And she finishes the update with, I'm done. I'm going to file for a divorce.
Good.
As you should. Whether you're single for a while or you fall in love again, I wish her nothing but happiness. If she does get into another relationship, I hope she finds someone who gives her all the flowers, all the chocolates, all the cards, everything.
Yeah.
This originally posted in r/RPG, but then it was screenshotted and shared to r/Are the Straights Okay?
Yeah.
The original post from r/RPG is titled, How do I explain a campaign table rule in the most charitable, inoffensive, and genial way possible? I'm getting a new campaign off the ground, and I offered a player seat to a forever DM friend of mine. He's super stoked, and I'm very excited to have him there. We're good friends, but we're the type of friends where we both agree to not talk politics for the sake of our friendship. I'm sure readers from America can relate to this. Here's my dilemma. Due to personal preference, comfort level, and the conversations of the world I've built, I have decided to disallow the exploration of LGBTQ themes, gender expression outside of male and female, and polyamory. This game is an escape for my friends and I from the real world. So I try to keep contentious real-world topics out of my games. The rest of my players are fine with this, but as you may have guessed, my friend who will be joining us is more left-leaning than the rest of us. He needs to leave your friend group because y'all are not good friends. He is not a part of the LGBTQ community. So he's not queer himself, but he's just a decent human, essentially, is what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
How can I bring up this table rule in a clear but inoffensive way? For absolute clarity for the readers here, I am not trying to stir the pot or cause offense to anyone. Too late. I have the utmost respect for those who want to include those themes in your games. All I ask in response to this post is how I can phrase this gently to my player. Thank you in advance. The screenshot was posted to Twitter. The Twitter user Anorak replied, like, in quotes, saying, like, I want this to be an escape fantasy, so no queers or other weirdos. What exactly are you escaping from, dude?
Right. The fact that it's like, you know, D&D is fantasy anyway. You're having like an escape from the real world. Like, you need to not do that in D&D.
Right. And also, like, the characters in D&D.
We can have elves and we can have...
That's what I'm saying.
We can have owlbears, but no queers.
Yeah, exactly. I've only played D&D literally one time. But my understanding is, like, you have all these creatures, they are, like, defying gender norms just in what they wear and what they do. They'll be, like, male trolls or female trolls, but, like, the female trolls are going to do masculine things. Or, like, you'll have elves, right? Yeah. Where, like, the male elves are going to appear feminine because they're elves. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And dwarves and stuff like that. So it's like a lot of the things, like, the female dwarves have beards or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly this guy is just showing his arse, you know? Showing himself.
Yeah.
As a...
I think that's the closest you ever come to swearing.
Showing his booty. Showing his behind.
Showing his dumb booty.
It's showing his dumb booty.
It's like when there's all the outrage about the Black Mermaid. It's like,
right.
It's a mermaid. Like
it's a fantastical creature.
It's a creature. Like they have
fishtails.
Exactly. Right. Why are we arguing over skin tone, color?
There's a half octopus lady who steals her voice. Like,
exactly.
You know, but like the skinny, pretty mermaid can't be anything but white.
Yeah.
Oh, and also because she has red hair.
Wasn't that the argument? Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
The red hair.
There were so many butthurt white red-haired people who were like, don't take away my representation.
Yes, exactly. There's so little redhead representation in the media. Like, ma'am.
Y'all got... I'm sorry. Like, that's...
You all have Amy Adams.
And also, like, if that's the top... If that's, like, the top of your concerns, you live a very privileged life.
Exactly. If your representation is based off your hair color. And it's because of a lot of actresses who are naturally redheaded dye their hair. And it's a hair color.
And also, there's no...
Wait, I messed up my hair. Speaking of hair...
One of the most... Yeah, laughs and curly hair, please. You're like, oh, one hair is out of place. Oh my god. Oh no. I'm so unkempt. Meanwhile, I'm over here just with, I don't even know what's happening most of the time. It is what it is.
It looks good.
Anyway, one of the things I think that is missing from that is, like, representation doesn't exist for representation's sake. It's one of the biggest reasons that representation is so important is because when a person of color or a queer person goes to get a job or applies to a university or tries to find new opportunities, they get denied purely based on their belonging to this underprivileged group. Mm-hmm. No one is out here denying redheads a job. No one is out here making laws to oppress redheads and keep redheads from voting. No one is out here forcing redheads to dye their hair. There's this push to, force transgender people to live as, the gender assigned to them instead of their true gender. Mm-hmm. So like no one is pushing that onto redheads. It's not just about seeing someone who looks exactly like you. It's the fact that there are people in power who have misconceptions about minorities and are making very influential decisions based on those misconceptions.
Right.
Also, the other thing is, like, no one is, like, destroying the original Little Mermaid. You can watch that movie as many times as you want. No one's stopping you. No one is being oppressed here.
Yeah. They complain that it's, like, ruining their childhood. It's like, no, but that movie still...
Exactly.
The original is still...
No one's going back in time and ripping that DVD from little 6-year-old you's hands.
Yeah. It's like, why are you complaining? Why are you crying?
Right, exactly. Why are you crying? To me, it's extra funny because with D&D, you have this, like, how can you
have orcs?
Yeah,
you have
orcs.
You have orcs. You have these, like, creatures that are different, like, inherently different because, like, a different race. But, like, they can't be gay.
Let orcs be gay. Like, I'm sure they are. They're fictional characters. You know what I mean?
And then, like, I'm surprised it wasn't, like, it can only be human.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
You can't have no dwarves, no tieflings, no orcs. Human. White humans only.
They're all fantasy creatures are too queer.
This one's not safe for work. So this one's from r/relationship advice. My male 26 girlfriend, female 25, wants to peg me but won't even get me flowers.
Date you a girl who gets you flowers.
My girlfriend and I have very different views on gender roles. For example, money isn't important to me in the sense that it doesn't bother me if she makes more than me, which is the case in my relationship. I think in heterosexual relationships, either partner can pop the question, either partner can get the other flowers, pay for dinner, make the other feel special, etc. I see it as more of a partnership rather than the dynamic we most associate with couples from the 50s. Whenever we talk about marriage, I let it be known that she can propose too, even though I know I'll probably beat her to it. I also let it be known that sometimes I want flowers as well. I like flowers. I like buying her flowers. I like to receive them too. But each and every time we have these types of discussions, all I get in return is, men these days are so sassy.
What is that? What does that mean?
I think she means like a sissy.
Well, I know, I know what she literally means, but like, what I'm really trying to say is like, how is that relevant?
She's like, obviously wants to be a trad wife. And like, she has this idea of gender roles of, men supports the woman, like supports the family, whatever, and the man does all these things. Like he has certain gender roles that he's supposed to fulfill, and the woman does the other stuff. And so, because he wants flowers, to her that means that he's being feminine. He's being like, he's not being the man, which is ridiculous.
Which is so stupid. Enjoying flowers has no gender.
Yeah,
like flowers are pretty.
He goes on to say, I find it ironic that she calls me sassy, and that she doesn't think the woman should get the man flowers, but is at the same time trying to convince me to try pegging, which requires a complete 180 on gender roles. I generally don't understand. You won't do something as simple as get me flowers because that's not a woman's job, but you're willing to peg me. It doesn't make any sense to me. How do I make her see the flaw in her reasoning? Get your man flowers.
Yeah. I felt really bad when he was like, I'll pop the question first. Because, like, you deserve to pop the question to a girl who's going to get you flowers. And you know what? If you want to be pegged, also you know, get your girl who will peg you. But the way it was described, it sounds like she wants to try pegging.
Yeah,
and she's trying to convince
idea.
him to try it.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not, sex is not transactional.
Mm-mm.
Showing your love, your appreciation, expressing intimacy, none of those things should be transactional. You shouldn't give your partner a gift because you want something in return. If your relationship is full of these transactions, that's a big red flag.
Yeah. That'll build resentment, and that'll just become something like, oh, you won't do this thing for me until I give you something.
Exactly.
Sort of, and then it's going to cause conflict, because it's like, yeah, because that's not like how relationships work. It shouldn't be like, I'm going to give you this thing, but you have to do this in return. Like, I don't know if there's another Reddit story. Oh no, it was a Reddit on Wiki, I think.
Shout out to Reddit on Wiki podcast. Hi.
Well, the person wanted to put sex in the prenup. Was that?
Yes.
So because he was traumatized from a previous relationship, traumatized, where they stopped having sex near the end of it,
and that's why we're putting trauma in quotes, is because he claims that his ex-wife denying him sex traumatized him. Like, while they were still married, she denied him sex, which is not, you can't deny someone sex.
Either you want it or you don't.
Exactly. He wanted sex, she didn't. That's not
denying.
Yeah, and that's not trauma. That's not traumatizing.
No, it's not. It shouldn't be, but you know. Anyway, so for his next, fiance or whoever, he wanted to put in the prenup that they have to have sex a certain amount of times a week. And if they don't, she gets nothing
in the divorce.
She gets nothing. Like, that's disgusting. Like, that's very so coercive. Disgusting. It's coercive. It's like, that's
marital sexual assault.
Yeah. It's turning sex into a commodity. Are you going to force your wife to have sex? Like, that's disgusting. That's gross. That's assault.
Right. I can't imagine initiating sex and then the partner, like, clearly not being into it.
Yeah. And then still being into it.
And then still being into it.
Still wanting it.
The biggest turnoff is the other person not being into it. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not into it either anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gross.
People are so gross.
I hope she didn't marry him.
No. I hope she goes to therapy and figures her stuff out. She should not be in a relationship if that's how, if that's her view, those are her views on sex, those are her views on gender. Absolutely not. I hope they've broken up, and I hope that he's with someone.
Flowers.
Yeah, I hope he's with someone who gives him flowers every day.
Mm-hmm. That's episode 8.
Yeah. If you want flowers, find you someone who gives you flowers.
You all deserve flowers.
Yeah.
Everybody deserves
flowers for everyone. Flowers for all.
Yeah.
Go download Bespoke. Go follow LM Bennett. I'll leave her Instagram below. Apparently she is coming out with another novella centered around mixed martial arts. Ooh. I'm very excited to read that one.
Yeah.
It's called Tap Out. So look for Tap Out by LM Bennett coming out in a couple months. Stream Dating Unlocked and just have a gay old time.
Yeah.
Bye.